We've all heard it, haven't we? That that foundational mantra, knowledge is power. It's kind of etched into our collective consciousness, right? A comforting truth we've probably absorbed since childhood.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
But what if I told you that, according to Napoleon Hill, I mean, one of the most influential thinkers on success and wealth, that statement, well, in its common interpretation, isn't entirely accurate.
Ah, okay, yeah. I know where you're going with this. It's a big point in Think and Grow Rich.
Exactly. In fact, right near the start, he introduces this surprising twist. Only a very specific kind of knowledge, and maybe more importantly, how that knowledge is used, truly unlocks the door to, success and wealth.
Mm-hmm. The application is key.
It's a distinction that can really change how you view your own learning and goals. Seriously.
Oh.
So today on the Taking a Magnifying Glass to Chapter 4, Hill dedicates this whole chapter to specialized knowledge.
A crucial one.
It really is our mission to unpack what Hill actually means by this really crucial distinction, explore why it arguably matters more now than ever, and most importantly, reveal why understanding this concept is vital for you if you're looking to achieve your ambitions and, genuinely be effective in your pursuits.
Yeah, because it's not just about piling up facts, is it?
Not at all. It's about a deliberate, targeted, and frankly, powerful approach to what you know.
You've hit on a really crucial point there. It's a profound nuance that, like you said, many people miss, especially today. I mean, we're just swimming in information, aren't we?
Totally overwhelming sometimes.
Exactly. And Hill isn't saying knowledge itself is worthless, not at all. What he's emphasizing is that simply accumulating general facts without a clear direction or practical immediate application, well, it often leads to what so many of us feel, information overload.
Right. You know a lot, but so what?
Precisely. You might feel well-read, you consume endless articles, podcasts, books, whatever, only to feel kind of overwhelmed, maybe stuck, or just unsure what to actually do next with all that data you've gathered.
Yeah, I can relate to that feeling.
It's like having a massive library full of amazing books, but you have absolutely no idea how to use their wisdom to, say, build a bridge or start a business or solve a problem you're facing right now. So our deep dive today is really designed to dissect Hill's concept of specialized knowledge and hopefully provide you with some immediately actionable insights.
Good. Actionable is key.
We want to reveal how cultivating this specific type of understanding can truly be a shortcut. Maybe not an easy one, but a more direct path to being not just superficially well-informed, but genuinely effective, impactful, and successful in whatever it is you choose to pursue.
Makes sense.
We'll explore why it's not merely about knowing more, but about knowing what truly matters in your specific context, and, critically, how to apply it. Consistently. Strategically.
All right, let's really dive into this fundamental distinction Hill makes then. Because he draws a very sharp line, doesn't he? Almost stark, between two core types of knowledge that we often kind of lump together in our minds.
Mm-hmm. General and specialized.
Exactly. So on one side, we have what he calls general knowledge. Now, this is largely what most of us are familiar with from, traditional education. Think about your time in schools, colleges, or just the huge amount of stuff you find in general textbooks, encyclopedias.
Right.
Even just browsing the news, maybe.
Yeah, the standard curriculum stuff, broad subjects.
Right. This general knowledge covers sprawling fields, world history, theoretical math, broad scientific principles, liberal arts, that kind of thing. And look, it's undeniably valuable for intellectual growth. It broadens your perspective, helps you understand the world, makes you a well-rounded person, no question.
Per context, absolutely.
However, and this is where Hill throws that first curveball, this kind of knowledge, while valuable in itself, alone does not attract money or lead to substantial, measurable success in the, let's say, practical world.
Right. It doesn't directly translate into dollars or achievement, usually.
Breadth can be its weakness in this specific context.
Yeah.
It's like knowing, I don't know, a little bit about 1,000 different topics, but maybe not enough about any one specific thing to solve a particular problem that someone would actually pay you to fix, or that could really drive a business forward.
It's foundational, but maybe not operational.
Yeah, something like that. Foundational, but not directly transactional, maybe. Now, on the other side of that line, we find specialized knowledge. This is where Hill says the real power lies.
This is the core of the chapter.
Totally. Specialized knowledge is defined as knowledge that is practical, intensely focused, and immediately actionable. It's the kind of knowledge you can directly apply to get concrete results, to build something, fix something, solve a specific identifiable problem.
It's knowledge geared towards doing.
Exactly. It has a direct, undeniable link to success because it's inherently designed for doing, not just for abstract knowing. And Hill drives this point home with a really powerful quote, one that just sums up the whole chapter, I think. Knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and directed through practical plans of action.
That quote is just so critical, isn't it? It really gets to the heart of it.
It really does.
And what's truly fascinating here is the why behind Hill's distinction, especially when we look at it today. You mentioned the sheer volume of information we're bombarded with.
It's insane.
It is. If you try to just soak it all up, you risk becoming, that jack of all trades, master of none, or maybe worse, just drowning in data that doesn't actually move you forward an inch.
Yeah, spinning your wheels.
Exactly. Hill's insistence on practical plans of action, that goes way beyond just understanding something intellectually. It implies a strategic approach. Knowledge isn't just memorized facts, it's a living tool for problem solving.
A tool? I like that.
It's about knowing not just what to do, but how to do it, when to do it, and crucially, why it matters in a very specific situation. This covers strategy, careful execution, and the ability to solve particular valuable problems for other people. And that's why specialized knowledge has market value, right? Because it addresses a real need and offers a specific solution.
Okay, so it's about being useful in a targeted way.
Precisely. Which brings us to a really important question for anyone listening. How might this concept apply to the choices you make today? Thinking about education paths or career development, especially in this rapidly changing world we're in?
Good question. How does it apply?
Well, think about formal education. It's indispensable, right? Gives you a broad foundation, critical thinking skills, maybe a network, but often it primarily provides general knowledge.
Right, like a Bachelor of Arts, maybe. Very broad.
Exactly. Now compare that broad degree to something highly specialized, say, a degree or certification in AI ethics, specifically for self-driving cars, or advanced material science focused only on sustainable energy tech. Both valuable, sure, but the real market value, especially in high-demand, cutting-edge fields, increasingly comes from that deep specialization.
Because fewer people have it, and it solves a specific, urgent problem.
You got it. It's about developing deep expertise in a niche that lets you provide unique solutions that others just can't easily replicate. You become the go-to person for a particular, often high-value problem, and that's where significant economic value gets created.
So it kind of challenges that old idea that just getting any degree guarantees success.
It really does. It suggests it's the directed, applied knowledge that truly generates leverage and impact.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. To make this even more concrete, though, let's look at some real-world examples. Hill himself suggested a few, and we could easily find modern parallels that really vividly illustrate how specialized knowledge works in action.
Yeah, examples always help ground the theory.
Definitely. So take the classic example of the mechanic. This isn't just someone who knows, say, the history of internal combustion engines. So that's interesting general knowledge, right?
Right, historical context.
A skilled mechanic possesses the practical, specialized knowledge of how to diagnose an engine problem quickly, how to take apart a complex system, find the exact faulty part, and then skillfully put it all back together so the car runs perfectly again.
Hands-on problem-solving knowledge.
Exactly. That direct, practical application solves a real, immediate problem for someone their car is broken down. And they are more than willing to pay for that specific expertise. That's value creation, pure and simple.
Clear example. What about a more modern one?
Okay, consider a hugely successful modern equivalent, the top-tier YouTuber.
Right.
They don't just have a general understanding of like film theory or the history of broadcasting.
No, probably not their main focus.
Right. Instead, they possess highly specialized knowledge. They understand audience behavior, what keeps viewers glued to the screen. They know the intricate workings of engagement metrics, watch time, click-through rates. They have sophisticated video editing techniques designed purely to capture and hold attention.
And the platform itself, right? The algorithm.
Absolutely. They understand how YouTube's algorithms work, at least as much as anyone does. They know optimal posting times for their specific niche, how to craft compelling thumbnails that act like little billboards in a crowded feed. These are all specialized skills.
Skills that directly impact their success.
Correctly. They lead straight to channel growth, attracting advertisers, building a loyal community, and ultimately significant monetization. They've built a tangible, thriving business based on that specialized knowledge.
Makes sense. What else?
Then there's the expert copywriter. Now, this isn't just someone who knows grammar rules, so obviously that's a baseline requirement.
Table stakes, yeah.
A skilled copywriter possesses specialized knowledge in the art and science of selling with words. They understand human psychology, persuasion techniques that resonate deeply with specific target audiences. They know how to craft compelling narratives, how to structure an argument, and how market response shifts based on different messaging.
It's applied psychology, really.
Totally. They know how to write headlines that literally stop you scrolling and body copy that makes you want to click buy now or learn more. Their words directly translate into sales, leads, revenue for businesses. They're not just writing nice prose, they're engineering specific results.
High value skill.
Definitely. And one more. Think about the astute investor. While they might have a general understanding of economics or business history from college, their real power comes from specialized knowledge.
What kind specifically?
Analyzing startups, maybe, understanding complex financial markets, derivatives, options, whatever, assessing risk with incredible precision, identifying truly promising investment opportunities that maybe 99% of people miss. This isn't just reading economic textbooks, right?
No, it's active analysis and judgment.
It's a specific applied skill set.
Yeah.
It involves interpreting vast amounts of data, recognizing subtle patterns, doing deep due diligence, and making calculated decisions, often under pressure, that can yield significant returns.
Big risks, big rewards, potentially.
Exactly. And in all these examples, the mechanic, the YouTuber, the copywriter, the investor, the common thread is crystal clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be.
These individuals don't just know things in general. They actively apply their specialized knowledge to achieve tangible, measurable results. They solve specific, often high-value problems and create significant value. And that, in turn, leads directly to their success and reward.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Right.
Yeah, that pattern across these really diverse examples is incredibly clear. You're right, the core commonality isn't just having knowledge, it's engaging in focused problem solving and creating distinct value.
Targeted usefulness again.
Exactly. Each person you mentioned identified a specific need or problem in the market, sometimes a painful one, and then they cultivated the precise knowledge required to address it effectively. Efficiently. It's like using a scalpel versus a butter knife, you know? Surgical precision over just broad strokes.
Good analogy.
And what's also really critical to notice is how these individuals often gain their specialized knowledge. It's rarely only from formal schooling, right? Though some foundation might be there.
Yeah, the mechanic probably didn't get a PhD in engines.
Probably not. The deepest, most actionable specialized knowledge often comes from direct hands-on experience, from apprenticeship, from continuous, relentless, self-directed learning, and crucially, from being in the trenches, applying it practically.
Learning by doing, essentially.
Very much so. Think of the mechanic who spent years actually under the hood, skinning knuckles, diagnosing real car problems day in, day out, or the investor who meticulously tracked market trends and made real trades, learning from both wins and, importantly, losses.
Experience is the best teacher, as they say.
It often is for specialized skills. This hands-on iterative process refines their raw knowledge into a sharp, effective tool that's actually been proven in the real world, not just in a textbook. And furthermore, this deeper dive into specialized knowledge really reveals why specialization often lets individuals command significantly higher value.
How so?
Well, when you solve a specific high-value problem for others, maybe a problem that's complex or urgent or just really widespread, you become, quite simply, much harder to replace. You become indispensable.
Ah, scarcity value.
Exactly. Generalists can often be replaced by other generalists, or sometimes even by automation these days. But someone with a unique applied skill set in a niche area, that's rare. Highly sought after. They can deliver solutions few others can.
So their expertise isn't just a commodity.
Not at all. It's a direct solution to a pain point that only a select few can really alleviate. And this is where the true economic power and honestly the profound impact of specialized knowledge really shows itself. It allows those who possess it to create significant wealth and influence.
Okay, now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. And maybe a bit counterintuitive for a lot of us, given how we're often taught to just, accumulate information, hoard facts.
The borrowed knowledge piece.
Exactly. One of Hill's most powerful insights from this chapter is this radical idea that you don't actually need to know everything yourself.
Which flies in the face of the know-it-all ideal, right?
Totally. It directly challenges that common belief that to be successful, you have to be some kind of walking encyclopedia, personally holding all the answers in your own brain. Instead, Hill argues the true power lies not in personally possessing all the knowledge, but in knowing where to find precisely what you need, when you need it.
Knowing where to look is a skill in itself.
A crucial one. And, critically, knowing how to organize and utilize that information effectively towards your specific goal.
So it's not just finding it, it's deploying it.
Yes. This introduces what he brilliantly calls borrowed knowledge. You can acquire the specialized knowledge you need from an incredibly diverse range of sources.
Like what?
Well, obviously, learning from books, they distill centuries of wisdom. From mentors, people who generously share their lived experience, their hard-won insights, from structured online courses that teach specific, actionable skills. And maybe most strategically, by hiring people who are smarter than you.
Building a team of experts.
Exactly. Hiring genuine experts in areas where you lack deep expertise yourself. The key, though, and this is vital, is that this borrowed knowledge must always be organized and used with your definite goal firmly in mind.
It needs direction.
Absolutely. It's not about passively collecting information or just like outsourcing your thinker completely. It's about strategic acquisition and deliberate deployment of that knowledge, using it as a tactical advantage.
Makes sense. It's purposeful borrowing.
And Hill reinforces this. He states, successful people never stop acquiring specialized knowledge related to their major purpose, business, or profession.
So it's an ongoing process.
A vital, ongoing principle. It means learning isn't a one-time event, ending with a diploma or getting a specific certification. It's continuous. Lifelong, a process of refinement and acquisition.
But focused refinement, right?
Exactly, the crucial part. It's directed learning, not aimless consumption. You're not just reading for the sake of reading or learning random skills. You're learning with a specific objective, that definite chief aim, constantly in mind. Every piece of info you absorb, every skill you learn, every expert you consult, it becomes a strategic step towards that overarching purpose.
It's the difference between just browsing a library randomly and having a very targeted research project.
Perfect analogy. That's exactly it.
That's such a powerful reframe of what it means to be intelligent or capable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about leadership.
Yeah, it really shifts things.
Which raises an important question. What are the strategic implications of this borrowed knowledge concept, particularly for people in leadership roles?
What do you think?
Well, it fundamentally redefines what it means to lead effectively, I think. True leadership, based on this idea, isn't about being the smartest person in the room on every single topic. That's impossible anyway.
Right. Nobody knows everything.
It's more about the profound ability to, first, recognize the gaps in your own knowledge, which requires humility, by the way. Second, to identify and leverage the specialized knowledge of others. Third, to orchestrate these diverse talents effectively. And fourth, to synthesize information coming from various experts to achieve a common, ambitious goal.
So it's less about individual brilliance and more about collective intelligence.
Exactly. It shifts the focus from individual encyclopedic knowledge to the immense power of collaboration, strategic delegation, and cultivating that collective intelligence within a team or organization. And this concept directly challenges that traditional, almost romanticized view of the individual genius, the lone inventor, the all-knowing CEO figure.
Yeah, the superhero myth.
Right. Instead, it positions the truly successful individual as more of a masterful integrator, a conductor of an orchestra, perhaps.
Ooh, I like that analogy. Explain that.
Well, think about a symphony orchestra conductor. They don't play every instrument, do they? They don't need to be a virtuoso violinist and a master flutist and a percussion expert all at once.
No, of course not.
Their specialized knowledge lies elsewhere. It's in knowing how each instrument contributes its unique sound, how to blend them together harmoniously, how to set the right tempo and dynamics, and crucially, how to elicit the absolute best performance from each individual musician, all to produce a cohesive, powerful symphony.
Guiding the experts to create something bigger.
Precisely. This analogy perfectly illustrates how a leader leverages the specialized knowledge of their team. They ensure each expert contributes their unique skills toward that unified, definite chief aim. It's about creating something far greater than any one person could achieve alone. And importantly, it liberates the leader from the impossible burden, the stress of trying to know everything.
That's a really powerful way to think about it. Okay, so after absorbing all these, frankly, profound insights, the critical question becomes, how do you, the listener, actually apply this? How do you take these powerful ideas about specialized knowledge and integrate them into your own life, your own professional pursuits?
Yeah, the practical how-to.
Fortunately, Hill doesn't just leave us with theory. He outlines very clear, actionable steps that you can start implementing right away. Steps that can really transform your approach to learning and achievement.
Good, let's hear them.
Okay, step one. Identify your definite chief aim. This is the absolute foundation, non-negotiable. Before you can even begin to acquire specialized knowledge effectively, you must know what you're acquiring it for.
That's why behind the what.
Exactly. What exactly do you want to do or accomplish or become? Do you want to build a subsistence type of business, master a particular craft to an elite level, solve a certain problem in your community or industry? The importance of clarity here, you just can't overstate it.
Without it, you're just drifting.
Totally. This definite chief aim acts as your ultimate compass. It directs all subsequent knowledge acquisition, resource allocation, everything. Without it, your learning will inevitably be scattered, unfocused, and ultimately pretty ineffective in attracting the results you actually want.
It's like trying to navigate across an ocean with no map and no destination.
Perfect. You might cover a lot of water, burn a lot of fuel, but you won't arrive anywhere meaningful. And this step, honestly, it often requires deep introspection. For many people, it's the hardest part. Finding the courage to commit to a single overriding purpose.
Letting go of other possibilities can be tough.
It really can. Okay, so that's step one, clarity of purpose. Step two, find the knowledge you need. Once your definite chief aim is crystal clear, then you can make a very specific targeted list of the precise resources you need to tap into to achieve it.
Okay, getting practical now.
Very practical. This isn't a vague idea, it's granular. What specific books do you need to read, maybe focusing only on the most relevant chapters? Which specific skills do you need to learn or master? Maybe it's a particular software, a new language, a negotiation technique.
Or finding the right people.
Yes. Are there particular mentors or experts you should seek out and follow? Maybe even try to build a relationship with them. The key here is relentless specificity. Don't just say, I need to learn coding. Maybe it's, I need to master Python specifically for data analysis relevant to pharmaceutical research.
Laser focus.
Exactly. This specificity ensures every learning effort is directly aligned with your ultimate purpose. It makes your learning highly efficient, potent, and incredibly relevant. No wasted effort.
Makes sense. What's next?
Step 3. Take action while learning. Now, this step is perhaps the most counterintuitive for many people, yet it's absolutely vital according to Hill. He emphasizes, don't wait until you feel like an absolute expert or 100% ready before you start applying your knowledge.
Get your hands dirty quickly.
Right away. Begin applying what you learn immediately, even in small, imperfect ways. If you're learning about digital marketing, maybe try implementing one new technique on a small side project, or volunteer to help a friend's business. If you're studying a new skill, like playing an instrument, immediately put it into practice, even if it's just practicing for an hour a day.
Theory meets practice.
This is where the rubber meets the road. And it dramatically accelerates your learning, because doing solidifies understanding in a way that just passively consuming information never can.
You learn by trying, and often by failing.
Exactly. The doing aspect isn't just the outcome of learning. Hill suggests it's an integral, accelerated part of the learning process itself. It helps you identify your knowledge gaps much faster, refine your understanding through real-world feedback, and maybe most importantly, build confidence through actual practical experience, not just theoretical accumulation.
It combats that dreaded analysis paralysis.
Totally. It gets you moving. Okay, final step. Step 4. Build a knowledge team. This echoes and expands on that borrowed knowledge concept we talked about earlier, but it brings it into a more active, collaborative, ongoing framework.
Leveraging others strategically.
Yes. Hill advises you to consciously and deliberately surround yourself with people who possess the specialized knowledge you lack. And this isn't just about passively observing them. It's about active engagement and strategic collaboration.
How so?
Well, you can learn from them directly, ask questions, study their methods, maybe even formally seek their mentorship. You could form partnerships where your complementary knowledge creates a synergistic advantage you achieve far more together than alone. Or simply seek their advice when you face challenges or opportunities outside your own immediate expertise.
So it can be formal or informal.
Absolutely. Yeah. This knowledge team could be formal, like your business partners or key employees, or it could be informal, like a trusted network of advisors, peers, mentors you regularly connect with, maybe even a mastermind group. The point is, the collective intelligence of such a team is always exponentially greater than the sum of its parts.
Accessing a wider pool of expertise.
It allows you to access this vast, diverse pool of specialized knowledge whenever your definite chief aim requires it. It's really a recognition that no single person can truly know everything necessary for massive success. You need that team.
You've laid out those steps perfectly. And what's crucial to understand, I think, is that each of these actionable steps, while they sound straightforward enough, They often carry significant practical difficulties right alongside their massive benefit.
Oh yeah, none of them are easy necessarily.
Right? For instance, let's go back to identifying your definite chief aim. As you said, it's liberating once achieved, but it's often one of the hardest things for people to truly nail down. It demands that deep self-reflection and honest look at your passions, skills, values, and maybe the hardest part, the courage to commit to a singular purpose, letting go of other options.
Fear of missing out, maybe.
Could be. Many people struggle, prefer to keep their options open, but Hill's argument is powerful. Without that laser-like clarity, your efforts will always be diffused, spread too thin, and ultimately less potent. Then, regarding finding the knowledge you need, this is where that profound shift happens, from just passively consuming stuff to actively, intentionally seeking very specific information and skills.
Becoming a hunter, not just a gatherer.
Exactly. It demands a proactive, almost detective-like stance. Moving beyond, oh, I'm open to learning, to actively pursuing this specific information or that specific skill from the most effective source you can find. This targeted approach is honestly your best defense against getting lost in today's information deluge.
Filtering becomes key.
It forces you to filter, prioritize, and figure out what truly moves the needle for your specific goal. Now, taking action while learning. As you said, it's the ultimate weapon against procrastination and perfectionism, isn't it?
It really feels like it.
We've all seen those people, or maybe been those people, who get stuck in analysis paralysis. Waiting until they feel 100% ready or perfectly knowledgeable before they even start. It never happens.
The perfect time never comes.
Exactly. This step forces you into iterative progress, a cycle. Learn a little, do a little, learn more from the doing, do more. It's about embracing imperfection and understanding that practical application is the fastest, most effective teacher. Every mistake isn't a failure, it's invaluable feedback.
Builds momentum too.
Huge momentum, and it reinforces that learning isn't just some intellectual exercise in your head, it's practical, it's real. And finally, building that knowledge team. This just underscores the immense, and I think often undervalued, importance of something like a mastermind group or just a diverse professional network.
It's more than just networking though, right?
Oh, much more. It's not just about having smart people around you, it's about actively leveraging their unique expertise. And, crucially, allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to admit what you don't know and ask for help or insight.
That takes confidence, ironically.
It does. This collective intelligence amplifies your individual capabilities exponentially. It lets you tackle challenges and pursue opportunities that would be simply impossible for any single person operating in isolation. It creates this dynamic environment where ideas get challenged, perspectives broadened, and innovative solutions emerge through that collaborative effort. It's the ultimate embodiment of borrowed knowledge in action, a cornerstone of great leadership, really.
Absolutely. To truly drive home the power of this whole concept, organizing and leveraging specialized knowledge, we just have to talk about one of the most iconic examples Hill highlights in Think and Grow Rich, the story of Henry Ford.
Ah, yes, the courtroom story. Classic.
It's brilliant because it just perfectly illustrates the principle in a real-world high-stakes situation. It shows how profound this idea truly is.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, so Henry Ford, this visionary, right? Revolutionized industry, assembly line, made the automobile accessible to the masses. Anyway, he finds himself in a courtroom at one point. During his testimony, he was reportedly mocked, challenged by the opposing lawyer for being uneducated.
Trying to undermine his credibility.
Exactly. The lawyer was clearly trying to discredit Ford, implying that a man of his vast achievements couldn't possibly be intelligent or capable because he supposedly lacked, deep formal schooling or broad academic knowledge. It was a direct attack on his perceived intellect.
How did Ford respond?
Ford's reply. It was apparently calm, profound, and utterly devastating to the lawyer's whole argument. He simply stated that if he ever needed any information on any topic, he didn't have to carry it all around in his own head.
The button on the desk story?
That's the one. He said he could press a button on his desk and immediately get any facts or specialized knowledge he required from one of his top advisors, each of whom was a highly specialized expert in their own field. He made it crystal clear. His genius wasn't in knowing everything personally. It was in knowing precisely how to get the knowledge he needed, when he needed it, and crucially, how to organize the people who possessed that knowledge.
A master organizer, not master know-it-all.
Exactly. This anecdote just perfectly encapsulates everything we've been discussing. Henry Ford likely didn't possess all the specialized knowledge himself. He probably wasn't a mechanical engineering savant, an expert in metallurgy, and a master of labor relations, and a financial wizard all rolled into one person.
Highly unlikely.
But what he was a master at was organizing people and knowledge to achieve his results. He had that clear, definite chief aim: build affordable, reliable cars for the masses. And he understood that to achieve it, he needed specific, specialized expertise.
Which he got by hiring the best.
Which he obtained by surrounding himself with brilliant minds who possessed that knowledge. He was the orchestrator, right? The conductor of that collective genius, bringing all these diverse talents together under his single powerful vision. And this ability, this mastery of leveraging borrowed, specialized knowledge is what made him one of the richest and most impactful people in history.
It wasn't his personal knowledge base alone.
Not at all. It wasn't his personal encyclopedic knowledge that built Ford Motor Company. It was his strategic genius in applying these principles of specialized knowledge we've been talking about.
What's truly fascinating here is how Ford's actions directly connect back to every single principle we've dissected today. It's a perfect case study.
How so? Lay it out.
Well, his definite chief aim, it was undeniably clear, wasn't it? Revolutionary, even. Mass-produce cars efficiently, affordably, for everyone. That was the unwavering North Star.
Check one.
Then, he clearly understood precisely what specialized knowledge he himself lacked in various domains: engineering details, manufacturing processes, supply chain logistics, market distribution, finance. The list goes on.
Self-awareness of limitations. Check two.
And crucially, he wasn't afraid to borrow knowledge. He actively sought out and hired the best and brightest advisors, the top experts in those specific fields where he needed help.
Building the knowledge team. Check three.
Exactly. His entire organization, Ford Motor Company, was in essence a vast and highly effective knowledge team. Each member contributed their unique, specialized expertise, all directed and coordinated under his single unifying vision.
Master conductor again.
Precisely. And this extrapolation applies directly to modern leaders and entrepreneurs today, doesn't it? Whether you're looking at Silicon Valley startups or established global corporations.
How do you see it applying now?
The most successful individuals today, they are rarely polymaths who have mastered every single domain themselves. Instead, they are exceptional integrators, orchestrators of specialized talents. They might be the visionary or the master fundraiser or the brilliant marketer, but they surround themselves with deep experts in technology, operations, legal, HR, finance, whatever is needed.
So their genius is in the integration.
Their true genius often lies in their ability to identify a market need, articulate a clear, compelling vision, that definite chief aim again, and then skillfully assemble and direct the collective specialized knowledge of a team to bring that vision to life. They know how to ask the right questions, synthesize information from different specialists, and make those high-level strategic decisions, leaving the deep technical dives to their experts. Which then naturally leads to a really provocative thought for all of us, I think. Does this emphasis on specialized and borrowed knowledge mean that formal education is somehow less important, or even irrelevant?
Yeah, that's a question people might ask. What's the answer?
Absolutely not. Formal education isn't irrelevant at all. It just reframes its role, perhaps. Formal education provides that essential foundational general knowledge. It teaches critical thinking, broad contextual understanding, analytical skills, and often it teaches you how to learn effectively.
It gives you the base camp.
A perfect way to put it. It gives you the base camp. But it's the application of that knowledge, the specialization within a chosen field, and that crucial ability to effectively leverage the specialized knowledge of others. That's what truly drives impact, wealth, and lasting success in the practical world.
So it's a synergy.
Exactly. It's the synergy between that foundational understanding you get from education and the targeted applied expertise you develop or borrow. That combination creates extraordinary results. It's about knowing how to learn what you need to learn for your purpose and then actually using it.
Okay, fantastic. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive into Chapter 4 of Think and Grow Rich, let's try to distill the core lessons for you, our listener, because these are insights that honestly could genuinely transform your approach to learning and ultimately your journey towards whatever you're aiming for.
Yeah, key takeaways.
First, really grasp that crucial distinction. General knowledge, while it's abundant and intellectually enriching, it's simply insufficient on its own for attracting substantial success or wealth. It gives you the broad strokes, but not the detailed blueprint for actually building something significant.
You can be well-read and still be stuck.
Precisely. Secondly, recognize that true success demands specific, targeted, specialized knowledge. This is that precise, actionable understanding that is directly aligned with your definite chief aim, your overriding purpose. It's about knowing exactly what information you need and the specific skills you must cultivate to move the needle on your unique goals.
Focused effort.
Thirdly, and this is perhaps the most liberating part, embrace the understanding that you don't need to know it all personally. The power isn't in your individual encyclopedic knowledge. It's in knowing how to organize and apply what truly matters, and crucially, how to effectively leverage the specialized knowledge of others.
Be the conductor, not every musician.
Exactly. It's about being a master orchestrator, a strategic conductor. This takes the pressure off and opens up huge pathways to success through collaboration and intelligent delegation. And finally, never forget this vital point that Hill stresses throughout. Specialized knowledge must be constantly updated and refined. The world is dynamic, right? Industries evolve at breakneck speed. New problems, new tools, new opportunities emerge constantly.
Standing still is falling behind.
Totally. Therefore, learning isn't a finite task that ends with a degree. It is a lifelong, never-ending process of continuous refinement, adaptation, and acquisition, always directed towards your evolving purpose. Your learning journey needs to mirror the fluidity of the world around you.
That's a comprehensive summary. And it really raises an important question for you, the listener, to reflect on. How does your own knowledge acquisition stack up against these principles right now?
A self-assessment moment.
Exactly. Are you truly specializing? Are you actively seeking out and applying targeted knowledge? Or are you perhaps just accumulating general information, maybe hoping it will somehow magically translate into tangible results down the line?
You know, the deep dive approach we take here, focusing on specific actionable insights rather than just broad consumption, it actually mirrors Hill's philosophy quite well, getting to the core and using it.
It's about getting to the essence of what works and then putting it into immediate, decisive practice. And if you consider the increasing pace of change in our world, the relentless innovation, the rapid shifts in technology, in markets, the continuous updating of specialized knowledge isn't just a nice-to-have benefit anymore. It's not just an advantage. It's rapidly becoming a fundamental necessity for staying relevant and achieving sustained success.
You have to keep learning to keep up.
In a landscape that's constantly shifting, the person who keeps their specialized knowledge sharp, current, and actively applied will always have a significant edge. It's about becoming a continuous learner, yes, but a continuous learner with a specific strategic intent that directly supports that definite chief aim.
Wow. Okay. This deep dive into specialized knowledge.
Yeah.
It really has opened my eyes again to how knowledge, when it's properly understood, organized, and applied, becomes this, I don't know, almost unstoppable force for achievement. It's a fundamental shift in perspective, really, that has the potential to profoundly impact your journey toward success.
It's a powerful chapter.
It really is.
But
once you have that crystal clear goal, your definite chief aim, and you've started cultivating the right specialized knowledge, maybe building your knowledge team, what truly gives you the power to actually start down that path? And maybe more importantly, what keeps you going even when the inevitable obstacles, the doubts, the setbacks arise?
because they always do, right?
Always. Resilience is key. It feels like there's something else needed, something that allows us to almost create our success in our minds before it even exists in reality. A powerful faculty that maybe we often undervalue or don't utilize properly.
That's a perfect lead-in, actually, because the answer, or at least a huge part of it, according to Hill, lies directly in the very next chapter, the one immediately following specialized knowledge in the book.
Ah, okay. What is it?
Our next deep dive will explore Chapter 5, Imagination, the workshop of the mind.
Imagination. Interesting.
It's where you'll learn how the world's most successful people apparently harness this incredible, often overlooked faculty, how they use it to conceive of and manifest their definite chief aim, often long before taking any significant physical action. We'll delve into how your own imagination might just be the ultimate tool for designing and creating the future you desire.
Okay, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
So we really encourage you, the listener, to reflect on today's powerful insights about specialized knowledge. Think about how you can apply them to your own pursuits, and stay curious for what's next.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep diving deep.
If this audiobook inspired you, imagine what the next one will do. Subscribe now and turn your time into transformation, one audiobook at a time. Hit the bell so you never miss the words that could change your world.